In this video, we're going to be demonstrating how to use a floor sander, and what better way to do that than to use a newbie who has never actually used a floor sander, so that if he makes any mistakes, I can correct it in real time. Have you ever used a floor sander before?
Never. So this is literally the first time ever sanding a floor.
Yeah, I think it's much better to do it in that way, because it will really reveal, because I think sometimes I just think about what I do as a professional and I don't pick up on the things that the newbies will do, and hopefully you will actually make some of the mistakes. I'm not going to say what they are, so hopefully you do make the mistakes and I can show how they can be fixed in real time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a used belt, a log. This is a 100 grit used belt. It's aluminium oxide, it's fairly soft. You want to use a 120 grit or a 100 grit, and especially if you can, a used abrasive, so that it doesn't do any damage to the floor whilst you're practicing the motion. And that's what most people are scared of. They're scared of doing damage to their floor. If you use an abrasive like that, you can get plenty of practice before you move on to the more coarse abrasives. So we're going to change this. I'm not going to explain too much about this, because you're probably not going to use this machine. But loosen it off on the other side. Pull it out, put the abrasive in, tension it. I'm actually going to leave this side off, because it's going to allow us to see more of the motion of the sander. Usually you want to keep this on because it helps with the dust extraction. With this off, it can escape a lot easier. So I'm going to put that there. Okay, so once we've got this on, what we want to do is start moving forward before we drop the drum down. So this lever will drop the drum down onto the floor, so it's in contact with it, and it will start sanding the floor. And then before we stop, we want to pull that back up again. If you stop before you pull this up, it will create a little dent in the floor.
Right, yeah. So do I always keep it moving? If I stop it at any point, I should always be moving the machine.
That's right. So you've got to think of it like an aeroplane landing and then taking off again. Yeah. Now the thing is you've got to do it both ways. One of the things that I see come up often is that people will only use the sander either on the back pass or the forward pass. When you want to drop it down, when you're going forward, and then lift it up, and then when you're coming back again, you drop it down and then lift it up again. So, and if you do drop it down, even if you want to continue, if you just stop for a second, even a tiny second, it will put a little divot on the floor. Even though if you slow down significantly, it doesn't actually do much damage, weirdly. But even just a split second, you'll get something noticeable. But it is fixable. And it shouldn't be too much of an issue with a used abrasive like this anyway. So I'm going to turn this on. One thing I do want to warn you about is that once you get over this hump, it can like drop down. And people don't expect that, so they drop it down and then they're all like that. But it's at the same time, it does pull itself forward. Yeah. And that's the thing, to do a lot of damage, you actually need to hold it in place. So, it's actually hard to do a significant amount of damage. Although people, when they panic, they do that. It starts pulling away from them, they resist it, and they end up holding it in one place. So yeah, so I'm going to switch it on, grab it like this. I would get ready like that, and then start moving forward, and then just slowly drop it down. Yeah. You only want to do a couple of feet, and then lift it up again. Okay?
Yeah. Understood. Right. Let's give it a go.
Right, before I turn this on, I also just want to mention, never have the drum in contact with the floor when you turn the machine on. No matter what machine, it will, on this it blows the fuse in the plug. It might trip the switch on the fuse board. Always make sure it's off the floor when you go to start the machine. I think we'll actually do it straight. So yeah. So grab that with both hands, that's it, well not both hands, with a full grip. Go over the lump, that's it. Start moving forward. And up. And now start moving backwards. Or lift that over first. Start moving backwards. Okay. Oh. So there's a good example. It's just as Jamie here has gone to push it forwards, it's just rocked forwards and it's just touched the floor. Again, it doesn't. That's how you can get lines in it, but once you know how to fix them, it's fine. So if you just want to come here quickly, you could just see here, it's sanded a bit more here, where once Jamie started contacting the floor, it started pulling against him and he stopped for just a moment and it's created, he still was moving, so it's not actually created much of a dent in the floor, but you can just see where it's sanded the floor more. But just doing that the first time, it's only going to happen the first time, or maybe a couple of times, and then it will start to, you'll get used to the motion, you'll get used to that resistance, it pulling away from you. So if we try that again, so start moving forward. I think you're already getting it very well. You can see here there's a little line and that's where Jamie rocked it forward. To be honest, you're doing better than most people when they first start. But so now, sorry, if you just want to come forward again and stand in front of me there. So the abrasive inside is about here. And what you want to do is after your first cut, that's where the abrasive has been. You now want to get this line halfway across the abrasive. We call it a 50% overlap. So we've done this line and the next one, we're going to overlap it by 50%. So you go in the same, you come back in the same line that you went forward in, and then you turn it a little bit and you do an overlap pass, and then back in the same path, and then again. And that's pretty much how you sand a floor with a floor sander, how you use a floor sander. So do you want to just give that a go?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry? I'll bring it this way a little bit, that's it. Again. Okay, again, I'm pleased that that's happened because Jamie's kicked the cable out the way so he's not pulling back over it, and that's the cable is always an issue. Normally I've got a bar here that holds it out the side, which I'll especially use on a big job like this. But what a lot of people do, which you're actually supposed to not do, is just put it over your neck, and that way you can just quite easily whip it. Oh, that's just died.
Well done.
That's the bit I'm struggling with the most is the cable, because I keep thinking this cable's going to get caught.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to cause damage, and then I'm I'm thinking about the cable rather than the sanding.
We're waiting for someone to bring out a battery-powered sander.
Right, it has been done.
It has, yeah.
This video is sponsored by Loba. This is their product Supra. I'm going to do a bit more about this later in the video, but we're going to be using this on this floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so as Jamie has pulled back and the cable's got under his feet, or he's been thinking about moving it, he's then stopped with the sander, and it's just created a little, a little line here. Again, very tiny divot. It's all good practice. It's gonna happen. Even when you go onto the coarse abrasives, it's gonna happen. But by changing direction, you'll actually remove all of those, and maybe you'll create some on that grit. But then you change direction again and you'll remove all those and you'll put some even finer ones in the final grit. So, and the more you do it, I mean, you can already see that Jamie's starting to get used to it. I have trained people to use this machine in 20 minutes, and then they've done all the sanding on one of my jobs, and it was good enough to take pictures and put it on my website. So a lot of people in this industry will say, oh, you can't use this for 6 months. You've got to be on the edge, or you've got to be scraping corners before you get onto this. But it's the most productive machine in the industry, so there's no reason not to train them on it straight away, especially on a big job like this. But now I'm going to chuck Jamie in the deep end and go in with the 40 grit, which is very coarse, which I need to go and get. Just one sec. So most people, they know sanding with maybe 60 grit, usually 80 grit, 100 grit. You know, let's say what they learnt in school. And they're not really used to like a 40 grit. This is 40 grit zirconia as well, fake diamond.
Wow. That is literally like asphalt.
It's except sharp. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I can understand why people are a bit scared to use it. But at some point you need to, like, it looks like it's doing a lot here, but you can still see there's a lot of damage. And we've just scratched the surface. In order to get rid of this damage, you've got to use a more coarse abrasive. I know people that say, oh, I don't use anything more coarse than even 80 grit. I have no idea how they get away with that, but that's not what we're doing today. Be wary of the extra pullback. Let's get this on, and yeah, do another couple of passes. So go overlap this one 50%. Again, you're just getting used to the motion at the moment.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about, am I taking it all out? Yeah, so maybe do 3 passes.
Okay.
That's it. Beautiful. Amazing. The pace was good as well. So this is a good example of, because people that don't know you have to overlap, they will just do the thickness of the abrasive and then do that again, and they'll end up with a line like this. And they end up going to, so yeah, you forgot to overlap. Yeah. But again, so just go over that one and then do overlap that line and that line. Okay. All right. Oh, so I'll just say, when you turn it on, I always put my hand on the handle. Again, every machine's different, but that's just how I know in my brain that the drum's not on the floor. And then you've got to turn this and wait till the bag is fully inflated before you let go. Mm-hmm. So you turn it, click one, and then you turn it towards you, hold it, and then once the bag's fully inflated, you let go and it will sit in that position. Camera can't see that position, but so hold that just to make sure it's off the floor. Yeah. So turn it towards you.
And then to start, yeah.
Okay, so that has blown a fuse.
Typical.
It's a problem that can happen. So again, so it's you kind of don't expect that this is quite resistant.
I was expecting it to click.
Yeah.
So have a click on each bit,
but you
didn't, so I held it down.
Yeah, so you've got to turn it and hold it until this is fully.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just like pushes out your fingers. It is quite difficult. So Now I've got to change the fuse, which is fine. Yeah, I've got fuses. To be honest, like how you've done now, I would, you know, if you came here to work for me today, I would just say, right, crack on, because as soon as you've done up and down, you're so used to it.
Yeah.
Funny thing is it can take 10 years to get that extra tuning of like 5-10%, but you know what you need to do, and you just need to do it. You're going to make mistakes no matter what I say. So if you were to just start, and you'd be absolutely fine.
The scariest thing is that you feel like it's so final, because obviously if you make a mistake, then you feel like it's going to be, that's it. But as you say, there's ways and means to remedy your mistakes. But
absolutely,
that is the fear, is that you're going to mess up, and then it's going to cause you all sorts of issues down the line.
That's it. Okay, so that one, and then 2 more like that, yeah?
And then do I go 50% that side?
Yeah, but do that line first.
Back?
Yeah. And then overlap that one. I was just thinking, shall I keep saying one more until the whole floor's done? But yeah, so I would say you're if that's 40 grit, you haven't done any major damage, you're definitely a newbie.
Yeah, it's looking good already. I can see the improvement already, and you can certainly feel the drag on this. It's almost as if you're power walking, and that thing is dragging you.
Yeah.
You don't have too much time to go slow. You almost have to just go with the machine. You can feel it. It's hard to explain on a video, but you can feel the machine working with you, as opposed to against you. And
you get used to that motion with the blunt or high fine abrasive like a 120, so you can get used to it, not do any damage. That was just practicing the motion. Now, ideally, if he was to continue sanding the floor, which I better get on with my own job at some point and let Jamie do his job, I would just go a little bit slower to try and get some of these dents out. Sometimes it doesn't come out on the first grit. You want to make sure it's mostly out on the first grit, because sometimes deep damage, if you don't get it out on the 40 grit, it's not going to come out on the 60, 80, 100, 120, whatever. But this is looking pretty good. So, well done.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
You're on the team.
Fully qualified.
I'm going to continue sanding this floor. I'm going to show the rest of the process. I'm not going to go too much into it. I do have other videos. I get a lot of people commenting going, why don't you show us how to do the whole thing? It's like, I've got a whole channel. Check out some of my other videos. So yeah, proof that a novice can do it. If you do want to learn more, I do have a video course that will be linked in the description. But right, better crack on. I like to start pretty much every job with a diagonal 40 grit, just to get all the old finish off, get all the dents and scratches out, and the diagonal just flattens the floor a lot better. Then we're on to the 60 grit, getting those scratches straight. Really good of Fraser to come give me a hand, Fraser from Loba. I love this shot. That 80 grit silicon carbide just creates a very smooth surface. Just doing the finishing sanding with 100 grit on the trio, get it nice and smooth. Getting the primer on a bit late in the day, and I'm using EasyPrime from Lobar. Anyone that's used this knows it's basically the best primer in the industry. Such a good primer, works with anything. This video is sponsored by Lobar, and today we're using Lobar's 2K Supra AT. It's their top of the range finish. It's a 2-component lacquer, so it's a standard commercial, but it's also reinforced with ceramic. So if you want an absolutely bulletproof finish, you want Lobar 2K Supra, and that's what we're about to apply right now. My first ad read that, a little bit awkward. And my nipples were hard, which is like so embarrassing. They're never not hard. I'm going to be in the comments for like the next month. So like, well, I mean, I'm always responding to comments, but I'm going to try and respond to like every comment in the first month, depending on how many views this gets. Because sometimes some of my videos have 10,000 comments, 50% of them are me. I was really disappointed with this shot. Like the camera, the exposure and the white balance was just all off, but you know, I thought I might as well chuck it in. This is the final shot after the last coat is dry, all done. Supra only comes in a semi-gloss, which is why this has got a bit of a sheen to it, but it's absolutely bulletproof. If you want to see more sanding videos, check out one of these two.